Hello and welcome to the topic Diachronic and Synchronic Approaches in Linguistics. Let's first discuss about Diachronic Approach in Linguistics. Terminological distinction. The terminological distinction between synchronic and diachronic approaches in linguistics was first made by Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure, 1857-1913, in his Course in General Linguistics, published posthumously in 1916. We move on to the next. Diachronic approach. The diachronic approach traces the historical development of the language and records the changes that have taken place in it between successive points in time. We move on to the next. Diachronic approach. It considers the development and evolution of a language through history. Diachronic is therefore equivalent to historical. It investigates language changes as they have occurred from time to time. We move on to the next. Diachronic linguistics. Briefly, it is the study of the history of language. It is also known as diachronic linguistics, and diachronic linguistics is the same thing as that of historical linguistics. It's very much clear, no need to explain. So we continue. Diachronic approach in linguistics. When we study linguistics, the English language, if you have diachronic approach to study language, we will have this order, that is to say, this is the line, vertical line and imaginary line of time, and we will study in a historical manner. Like, for example, if you want to study the English language, we will talk about Old English, Middle English, Early Modern English and Modern English. So our way of studying language will be in a vertical manner of time, that is to say, starting from 500 to 1066 to 1500 and 1700. So we will study language from historical perspective, changes that have taken place time to time in different centuries and in different periods of time. This way of studying linguistics is known as diachronic approach. We move on to the next. Diachronic approach in linguistics. A timeline of the important historical periods in the history of language. This is the way we study language through diachronic approach in linguistics. Synchronic approach in linguistics. Synchronic approach. The synchronic approach sees language as a living whole, existing as a state at one particular time. We have another point, synchronic approach. Synchronic approach is also known as synchronic linguistics. We have yet to talk about synchronic approach. Synchronic linguistics is often descriptive, analyzing how the parts of a language or grammar work together at one existing time. Synchronic approach. It is concerned with the logical and psychological relation that binds together to form a system of language in the collective mind of speakers. We have some more points. Synchronic approach. Studies of dead languages can be synchronic, as by definition they are no longer spoken. They are not evolving and are frozen in time. We move on to the next. Synchronic approach in linguistics. For example, if you want to study English language, then we will have like this aspect of a study: development of English during William Shakespeare time. It means that imaginary horizontal line of time. It refers to a particular period during the 15th and 16th century when William Shakespeare was writing. So we will study English language during that particular time in which William Shakespeare lived and wrote. Likewise, a study of the language of Jane Austen. When we study the language of Jane Austen, how did she write and how she was different from her contemporaries, it means that we will talk about that particular period in which Jane Austen wrote and how she differed from the rest. Global influence of modern English in 21st century. Here we will talk about a particular time in the 21st century only. So when you talk about or when you study English language in a horizontal manner of time, this approach is known as synchronic approach in linguistics. Difference between diachronic and synchronic approaches. Synchronic approach think of a synchronic analysis as a single frame in a roll of a film. So synchronic approach is all about you study in a roll of a film. You just take one roll of the film, one frame of the film, and then you look at it and you analyze and you talk about. Studying language in this manner is known as synchronic approach. We move on to the next. Diachronic approach. The diachronic analysis would be the study of all the frames. But in a diachronic approach, we study all the frames of the film, like all the periods through which languages have developed from time to time. That is the point here. Next, diachronic and synchronic approach. Look at this diagram, A and B, C and D, vertical and horizontal. From the diagram, we can analyze that A, B is the synchronic axis. It refers to a language existing at a particular time. CD is the diachronic axis, an imaginary line moving through time, the historical path through which language has evolved. In the diagram, X is the point on CD. AB can intersect the axis CD at any point. We move on to the next. Diachronic and synchronic approach. Language study in the 19th century was largely diachronic, but in the 20th century, emphasis has been on synchronic analysis. Ferdinand de Saussure favored the synchronic approach. However, each approach has its own benefits. We have some more points. Diachronic and synchronic approach. The diachronic approach might focus more on the interplay of historical events and language changes. The synchronic approach would love to look at things like texting, email, and all modes of expressing language in a particular period of time, that is to say, in the 21st century. Hope you understand the concept. Thank you and goodbye.